Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in again. We're on week 3 of the year, week 2 of my Elysian Fields competition prep. Day 1 started off with a heavy bench at a programmed 8 RPE. Kinda overshot. Went for 265 for 3. Ended up with 265 for a solid 2. May have been able to struggle that up, but we'll never know. And then my back off triples started at 245, and this is my top back off triple at 255 pounds. Which, to be honest, these are moving awesome. My bench prior to this PR'd out at about 270, 275 pounds or so. So I'm happy with the way my bench has been going. Equally happy, I'm happy with where my overhead press is at. This is 155 for 3 sets of 5, went really well. Definitely not an overshot on RPE, and this is what I'm calling an RPE 8. RPE has definitely been a new thing for me, trying to figure out how exactly to capture what I'm actually feeling versus like what I think I'm feeling. That's part of where video has been very helpful for me. Then we moved to some weighted chins. I started with a 45-pound plate, and then I ended up going up to a 62-pound kettlebell eventually. And finished out with dumbbell press, 55 pounds per hand. There you go. These loadable dumbbells can be good. The sleeves are kind of long. These are the DB15s from Rogue. So sometimes the sleeves will actually hit. They'll kind of tink. So you have to go angled on your grip. And we move into day 2. Pause competition squat 1x3 at 8 with 3 back off sets at 4. Like 4 repetitions. So here's 365. I marked this at an 8 and it feels like an 8, but I definitely crapped my pants right there on the first rep. It wasn't actually that bad. It's one of the beauties of a home gym, I guess. I just kind of re-racked, went inside, got my life together, laughed, sent my coach a text, and then I had my back off sets here. I did all these between 315 to 325. This is my middle back off at 320. And like I said in my last video, I'm getting back into low bar again, and today was mucho gusto better. This is way better than it was before. Last week, it felt crazy, and I'm sure it's just because you're switching back from doing high bar for 4 solid months to low bar, or competition squat rather, and I prefer low bar. But they move nice. Weight is staying right in the middle of my foot. I am kind of favoring one side over the other, but it's not consistently one side or the other. But I definitely have kind of a helicopter thing that goes on. Then we switch over to these Romanian deadlifts. These are programmed with straps, so that grip wasn't really a factor. Ended up doing 315, and that was a 3x5. They felt like an 8. They were supposed to be an 8 RPE, so I just kept the weight there. Trying really hard to concentrate on my upper back. I have an issue with my thoracic spine starting to collapse as things get heavy. So it's been a conscious effort to not have that happen. And then I ended the day on lunges and planks. These are 65s for 6 per leg. It says at 7, but once you get up that high, so I mean it's 6 per leg, but realistically we're talking 12 reps. I have a hard time gauging RPE at that high of a rep range. This kind of got everything pumped and burning, so I went ahead and called it good. And then I finished off with planks, 60 seconds. Then we have some morning conditioning. I don't always record my morning conditioning, but I've got these fancy frickin' trolley arms, so why not? So I'd seen these, and they're fun, and all that I was doing was sets of 5 or 6 per leg. So I was doing 6 with one leg forward and then switching to the other leg. I don't actually remember the number, and I don't feel like counting. I did these every minute on the minute for 10 minutes. And actually, now that I say that out loud, I'm pretty sure it was 5 reps per leg forward, so 10 reps every minute on the minute. And then later that day was push press at 205. So here's the crappy part about this. I actually felt great about these push presses until I watched some of the other guys' videos that I train with, or my coach trains, or I compete against. And I was like, yeah, 205 for a solid 7 to 8 RPE. I was like, I'll take that. And then the guys I'm competing against are doing like 240. It's like, what the F? Bench, like I said, it's always been kind of a sticking point. This is a paused close grip. I'm really liking these trolley arms for my lift off, and I figured out that if I just move them up one notch, I can put my safeties on the rack so they're a little bit more secure. Went for some weighted dips. This is a 62-pound kettlebell. And it's just programmed for 25 reps, so I ended up breaking up into a 5x5. And then I finished that off with curls the day prior. So coming to deadlift, this is 425 for 3. It was programmed at an 8. But I'm going to be honest, this felt like a 7.5, 7.5. It moved real nice. Mathematically-ish, I know RPE doesn't really have math, but Barbell Medicine has a chart that I used to kind of figure out ballpark. And that was where I was supposed to be at for 8. Definitely stronger than I have been. And then these ones at 375 look pretty good. Again, I'm really concentrating on my thoracic spine. I still see a little bit of rise in my hips before my chest instead of them moving simultaneously. It's something I continue to work on. And then front squat. So I ended up doing 255. Felt nice. It was supposed to be at an 8 RPE. So I racked this 265 set. And when I finished this set, I was just like, I called it a 9. And so I immediately dropped down to 245 for my final 2 sets. Yeah, that 265 did not feel very well. I'm sorry, did not feel very good. And then it was some stiff leg deadlifts. These are accessory movements, so I texted my coach real quick and asked him if he gave a crap if I used my trolley arms, and he said go for it. And because I have them, I used them. So 90 pounds per arm. I will say that these arms are heavier than you might think. So even though it's only 90 pounds per arm, it's well over 100 pounds weight per arm. And then I finished up the day with GHRs, but I actually ran out of time at lunch. I had to do those at work, which was fun. A couple students were asking me what I was about to do because they thought that GHDs were for sit-ups only. And I was like, well, actually, now that you mention it, this is called a glute ham raise. This is what it's designed for. All right, so I'm showing you my top best set on log for Strongman Saturday, but I promise you this is not my best. This is not a good representation of the day. Log for me did not go well that day. I was kind of pissed off, and I went in with the intention of hitting that log at 210 for 3, and I got it, but it just frustrated me quite a bit. And then I moved on to this car deadlift simulator. I wanted something where the trolley arms would have to feel like, so that they would feel like they were together. So I just took a pull-up bar that I don't use anymore that's designed for the Monster Light series, and I just hitch pinned it onto the front of the trolley arm so that they'd be somewhat joined together. It doesn't actually support any weight unless I was to drop one of the handles. And then I just loaded it up kind of heavy, put the handles a little bit, the trolleys kind of high, and pulled away. I'm not happy with my upper back on these. I didn't feel like they were that far, like I was this far extended, but it is what it is. 2 sets at 60 seconds. My first one, I only got 8. But to be honest, I did the timer all wrong, so I only did 40 seconds worth. And in the second one, I did 10. Then I moved on to some Zerker carries. This is in preparation for the Conan's wheel. I don't own a Conan's wheel. So here's 340 pounds, which again, just trying to get back in the feel of it. And then moving on to some grip work with the Rolling Thunder. This is my top set. I'm supposed to work up to a heavy triple. Yeah, so heavy triple per arm. And to be honest, I barely get this with my left arm. In fact, I really don't get it, but close enough. Yeah, I didn't get it. And then some back offset. So this is my third back offset. So this is 20% or so under what I did my top set with. In between these sets, you can see the band on the rack, and you can still see my reverse hyper pendulum swinging. So I'm rocking 15 reverse hypers, 30 face pulls, and then immediately going into these Rolling Thunder deadlifts. The grip is getting better. I love this tool. Thanks, Mom. She bought this. Props to my mom. She bought this Rolling Thunder for me for Christmas this year, without me even asking for it. She just knew, because my mom's badass. But anyways, that's the week. Looking forward to week 4. Hoping to keep my diet a little bit more straight. I've been tracking my diet again with MyFitnessPal, just trying to get my macros where I want them. Where are your macros at? Let me know in the comment section down below. And if you like these kind of videos, please subscribe, hit the notifications button, leave a comment below. Again, I like engaging with people, and I'll see you next time.